Courtney, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. The NPC Lead Labrotta Classic.
Yes.
Let's talk about this. Let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
So how long was this prep? Let's start with that.
I decided in January, actually, that I was going to stop messing around and I was going to do it. I didn't really get serious with my diet and everything until about 8 weeks out. That means like no cheat meals, no cookies under the table, no like cutting cardio.
No cheat meals at all?
No, for 8 weeks. But before that, it was like not very good. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. So I'd say like prep-wise, it was about 8 weeks. But I mean, I trained hard in the gym and put on muscle and did everything like that 5-6 days a week for about 6 months. So it was long and exhausting physically, but mentally for prep, it was just about 8 weeks.
I think when figure came out in prejudging, I think another athlete was in a class that walked out before you, and her name's Kristen Rochelle. And I think when she walked out, I hope I'm saying her last name right. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. If I'm not, I apologize. But she comes out and she looks fantastic. And I was like, she's gonna be really hard to beat. And then you come out, I think, a class or two later.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
She did. She looked awesome. I saw her too. Yeah.
Winning the figure overall, you're on the diagonal and you're waiting for someone's name to be called. What is that moment like?
Man, they were lining us up backstage, and I saw the other girls that had won their class, and I honestly didn't think that I had a shot at winning overall. I was happy with my first place, and I was ready to go home and celebrate with my family and friends, and I just went out there and did my best and did my turns, and was making direct eye contact with the judges, and they moved us back over to the line, and when my number was called, like, my heart just like fell, and I just was like overwhelmed with like a sense of just like relief, accomplishment, obviously like excitement, happiness, and I was just on cloud nine. It was amazing.
Can you believe how far you've come?
Yes and no. I'm my own, worst enemy, my biggest critic. So I know that I have worked hard, and I know that I've put in the hours and the discipline. But at the same time, I always feel like I can do more. So it's kind of like, I've come this far, but I feel like looking back, like I still could have done better. Like there's still things that I didn't do that I should have done or could have done, but yeah, it's exciting.
We started this interview talking about winning and overalls, but really it's not about winning. You learn so much about yourself.
Yeah.
Not that I know. Never competed, but I assume.
Yeah. Obviously winning is a plus, but a lot of competitors, I think, could agree with me that competing is a lifestyle in a sport. It teaches you things that you can use in daily life. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you sacrifice. It teaches you accountability, confidence, perseverance. And I mean, these are all things that you can use in your career, friendships, marriages, relationships, religion. I mean, like anything you want, like this sport helps you realize that without working for something, you can't achieve anything. So.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
We need to mention, we should have started off with this beautiful person. I'm going to call her a person.
She is a person.
Who do we have here?
This is Faith. Yes, we're talking about you. She's like, let me sit up.
She knows her name.
Yes. My sweet girl, she'll be 7 in December. Yes, we're talking about you. I found her in a dumpster when she was a puppy, and she's the best thing that ever happened to me. So, yes.
Everywhere you go, she goes.
Yep. We're always together. Anybody.
Was she at the show?
No, she wasn't at the show. She was actually at my friend's house in Arlington, just because it was in Houston, and It was a long drive, and the hotel that we stayed at didn't have accommodations for her. So, but yeah, she's my baby.
What do you guys do for fun?
Go to dog parks. If my gym wasn't so loud, I would probably take her there with me. But she kind of gets anxious with like I do. She likes quiet places.
Would she be fine with having her own Instagram?
She does.
Oh, she does?
She does. She does have her own Instagram. She's had it probably since she was about a year old. It's Faith the Boxer. She's got like 400 or 500 followers, and yeah, I post on there. I try to post on there once or twice a week, and it's sad because I know that like when she's gone, it'll be like her life portfolio that I can look back at, but yeah, she's a pretty big deal.
She's a big deal. Well, back to competing, I wanted to ask you, you used to compete at bikini.
Mm-hmm.
Why the switch from bikini to figure? Obviously, you're having success in figure. But.
Yeah. So whenever I first moved to Arlington, Texas, to go to college at UTA, I started bodybuilding, and so I started working out. I didn't know what I was doing. I was about 115, 120 pounds. I was rail thin.
How long ago was that?
This is about 6 years ago now. No, 5 years, 2013. Yeah, I was just graduated high school, moved to Arlington, started lifting weights. Didn't really know what I was doing. I was skin and bones, had no muscle whatsoever. I played sports in high school, but I was still pretty skinny. And got into working out. About a year later, I started having people approach me, asking me if I was gonna compete. And me being from a small town, Corsicana, like, nobody in Corsicana knows what competing is. Like, nobody down there knows what bodybuilding is. So I kept hearing people ask me if I was going to compete, and I was like, what are they talking about? What does this mean? So I ended up Googling it, and I looked it up, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, these people are all spray tanned, like, they're in front of these big crowds, like, they're half exposed, like, posing. And I was like, that's not something I could do, because I'm like borderline a dude. I'm super tomboy, not girly, would never put on heels in front of anybody, much less like makeup or hair, nails, tan. And so I never gave it any thought. And then a couple years went by, and I put two pictures side by side, and I was like, holy cow, like I'm doing this thing, you know, like I'm really transforming my body.
Years.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
And I was like, man, like this is crazy. And so a friend of mine got me in touch with a coach, and I went to this coach and I said, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I want to do what people are doing, you know. And he said, okay, let's do it. So I originally wanted to do figure. After, you know, doing my research, knowing the differences between the categories and the divisions and everything, I knew that I really liked figure. But just like sometimes you're in between shoe sizes, you know, you're not quite big enough, or you might not be small, you know, I was right in the middle. I was kind of too big for bikini, but I wasn't quite big enough for figure yet. So instead of taking an extra 6 months and building up to where I needed to be for figure, I decided to kind of cut down and go with bikini, which was not the right decision for me. At the time, it seemed like an easier option, but taking the easy way out is never the right idea. Work harder, because my bikini prep was not a good experience. It was miserable. It was unhealthy. It was emotionally draining. It was tough on my family. It was tough on my relationship. It was just not good. So fast forward, did my bikini show. I got third out of a stacked class of probably 20 girls, beautiful girls. Everybody did a great job, but I wasn't happy. I knew I could do better. I knew I could look better. I knew I wanted to be in figure. So I took some time off. I think it was about a year and a half. And I mean, I just hit it hard. I went ham, as they would say. I was eating like crazy. I put on a bunch of size, a bunch of muscle. And so January of this year, I was like, okay, I know it's time. We're doing figure.
So the Lee Labrada Classic, who helped you get ready for the show?
So I am now with my coach, Daniel Treat. He coaches, he does personal training and coaches out of Tyler, Texas. So he's actually not local. He is a huge help, huge accountability partner, huge friend of mine who really pushed me really hard and was there for me. And I sent him pictures, weekly, and we stayed on track. I trained by myself and like did my workouts on my own, but he did my nutrition.
It must be so comforting going through a show and having support like that.
Yes, yeah, he's very, very supportive, very honest, very transparent. If something needed to change or something needed to be done, he was upfront with me about it and said, hey, like this is what we need to do, make sure it happens or get this done. Very patient with me, as I can be needy and ask a lot of questions. I'm a why person, so I'm always asking, why are we doing this, or why does this need to happen? And so I admire him for that, for just working with me and having patience with me, and being there to tell me when to shut up and just do it. So yeah, he's a cool dude.
Well, something I didn't ask you yet. What is your why for doing all this?
I have several different whys. I'm going to try not to get emotional. Did not see this question coming. My grandma passed away a few years ago, and she always instilled it in me that it was so important to take care of my body, that you only get one. And I have no tattoos or piercings. I don't even have my ears pierced. And part of the reason is because she told me, your body is a temple of God. Don't put anything on it or in it that would harm it. So I know for sure, as long as I live, I want to try to take good care of my body for her and obviously for myself. Also, in my family, there is a little bit of alcohol abuse, and I made a promise to myself that no matter what I go through in life or what struggles come my way, I'll never turn to drugs or alcohol to deal with them. Instead, I try to find healthy outlets, the gym, my dog, going to the park, enjoying outdoor activities, religion, things like that, things that are going to help me and better me instead of do the opposite. So, yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Role model right here.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, because that's another thing. Another reason why I do what I do is because these days it's so hard for women and young girls to be happy with themselves and feel comfortable in their own skin. And I'm not going to say like all the cliche stuff that we see on social media all the time, but it's not just about feeling comfortable in your skin, but feeling comfortable as your own person. If you are, of a different sexuality or religion, or if you want to do a career that's, male dominant, you should go after whatever makes you happy. Yeah.
Let me ask you a broad question, and let me know if this is a lame question. What is it like to see gains on your body? What is that like?
It's awesome. It's like, how you write a paper in college and you sit there and you're just like, what am I going to say? And the first sentence is always like the hardest thing. You don't know how to start. You don't know what to say. You don't know, how to start the paper. But when you finish it, you look back and you're like, man, I just wrote 15 pages in an hour, and it's legit and it makes sense. And, my sources are cited, and it flows, and it's not, it's not just a big run-on paragraph. And you look back and you're like, I did that. And then what's even better is when you turn it in and your professor grades it and you get a passing grade back, and it's like an achievement, right? The same thing, same concept with bodybuilding. You start and nobody knows where to start. They're just like, okay, like I'm just gonna do some curls and some jumping jacks, and they quit. After a week or 2 weeks, they quit. And you will never see the results, or you'll never get a grade on your paper if you don't finish it and turn it in, So once you see the progress that you've worked hard for, it becomes an addiction, a healthy addiction. And then, you stop finding reasons why you can't go to the gym, and you start making reasons why you have to go to the gym. So.
Did you go to the gym today?
I did. And
do?
I did my cardio. I did chest and shoulders. Yeah.
So, and you've heard this many times before, the whole trust the process thing.
Trust the
You
process.
trusted it and it just
Trust
worked.
the process, yes. I've heard those words so many times, and even
Probably gets annoying.
it does, but there's a lot of truth to it. I heard it in my first prep, I heard it in this prep, and I'm sure I'll hear it the rest of my bodybuilding career. But yeah, you do have to trust the process, but along with that phrase comes consistency, commitment, dedication, perseverance. Like, you have to keep going in all of those different things, not just, eating or working out. Like, everything goes together. So like, you can go to the gym 7 days a week for 5 hours a day and just murder yourself and just kill yourself. But if you are eating like trash, it cancels out. It's not gonna work. Same thing goes for nutrition. Like, you could be eating everything on point, but if you're not doing your cardio, or you're not doing weight training, or whatever is set in place for your plan of action, it's not gonna work. You have to put each puzzle piece together to get the big picture.
Ooh, I like how you say that.
Yeah, everything fits together, It's just for one huge picture, so.
So where do you think you're going to be, the judges' feedback?
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about that? What did they say?
Yeah. Basically, I need to be a little bit more conditioned. Well, not a little bit, a lot more conditioned if I wanted to compete at a national level. So that's what I'm going to focus on. Is if I do another show, is I'm just going to work on my conditioning and make sure everything ties in well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Corsicana, Texas.
Corsicana.
Love it.
Yeah.
How many people live in Corsicana?
I think it's like 26 or 27,000. Everybody knows everything about everybody.
And that's like 1 hour or 1 hour south of Dallas.
Yeah, it's about an hour south of Dallas.
For
Yeah.
people who don't know, Dallas, Texas, millions of people in this
Yeah.
metroplex.
Yeah. It's not too small, but it was too small for me. Yeah. Had to get out of there and make something of myself. So that's what I'm trying to do.
That's cool. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm glad.
You speak so
I'm
well.
glad I got to come. Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Cool.
Appreciate you.
Yes, of course. Thank you for having us. Say thank you. No? Okay.